Welcome to Adventures Walking as One, where we will explore what it really looks like to walk in the same direction on the same path as husband and wife.
Yes. We are Mark and Carol Schweiger of Walk as One Ministries, and we believe that marriage is the greatest adventure, and it's worth preparing for.
And that's important. We have to prepare for these things, do them on purpose.
On purpose.
What are we going to talk about today?
We're going to talk about why are we doing this?
Oh, yes. Well, I guess why we were doing this goes back to the beginning, right?
Mm-hmm.
How we got started. And so we're regular people, normal people. I mean, there's nothing really that special about us. And we're doing some research back when we first got married, and we're noticing a lot of marriages, and this is 40 years ago, right? A lot of people struggling in relationships, and it's like, I don't understand all this, and we're having a lot of social issues. And so it was like somebody should do something about that.
Yeah.
So if you ask that as a believer, the Lord hears you. And so he sent a young man to our house knocking on it. It's like within 2 weeks, right? And it's like, okay, that's you guys need to do something about this.
Yeah.
Chris wanted us to get involved in, am I stepping ahead of myself?
Yeah, it's okay. He was part of Family Life Ministries, and he was looking for support, financial support, right?
Yes.
So we agreed to help out because we liked what he was doing, that it had to do with family, it had to do with marriage and strengthening marriages. So we definitely agreed with that.
Yes, and I have to go back a little bit on that because I skipped over that part. But after we were learning about that, we discovered that that marriage and family is a cornerstone of our society. Yeah. And so that's really when I got to the point of, well, somebody needs to fix this thing. And that's where the Lord said, okay, we're going to send you guys. So that's how we started.
Yeah. So we were supporting Chris in that ministry. And then a few years later, after we had one child, and then we were pregnant with our second child, and we ended up with a stillborn. And that was very traumatic, very difficult to go through. I'm sure many people have had to go through that. And in the very least, the miscarriages, many people go through miscarriages. But a stillborn, we did get to hold him, but we didn't get to have him alive, you know. Many years I used to think I would be setting the table and I always felt like there was somebody missing, you know, and still there's somebody missing.
Yes, there is.
But anyway, that would have been 30.
A while ago.
Yeah, some years ago.
That was their second child.
34 years ago.
Yes.
So anyway, but what we learned from grieving is that every couple grieves differently. You know, for Mark, it was like he didn't want to talk about it. Things were kind of swept under the rug, and I was like all about doing. I got to get this done. So we learned that, boy, we've got some big differences here. And go ahead.
Well, and I was like, we have big differences, and for sure we were grieving differently, but it was just that we had a loss together. We ended up going to, what was that? It was like
It was a grieving class.
Grieving class.
Bereavement.
I guess
bereavement class.
And why they had the class, and what I didn't understand is a lot of divorces happen when stillborns or miscarriages.
Death of a child.
Yeah, death of a child, because the couple start blaming each other. You didn't do this. You should have done this. And I thought that was really strange at the time because I had no... I didn't think of that at all. It didn't register at all to me.
Yeah, statistically, they say 80% of couples will end in a divorce if a child dies. So that was very high. And fortunately, our friend Chris that we were supporting knew that. And he came knocking on our door again and asked if we would start getting involved with their marriage ministry, which meant that we would be a part of the Detroit City Ministry team to put on conferences in the Detroit metro area. So we worked really hard on that for how long?
As 12 years.
Yeah.
And you know, and we realized we weren't immune to divorce when we started that. And you want to do things to protect from that. And it's like, well, we don't know what to do. And so that was one of the other drivers to keep us focused on that and to go. We actually attended the conference, so we were helping put on these conferences. And so for 12 years, we went to the same conference for 12 years.
Right, but usually they had different speakers and different content. So we were really gleaning a lot of information to help our marriage and protect our marriage.
And it was also interesting that at every year something was different in our relationship. So it was changing. With kids, you get the at work they would call it a serious emotional event. And then we get these serious emotional events that happen, and something in your life changes a little bit. And so every year we gleaned a little more because we were changing. For me, I like everything to just stay the same, right?
And you would think that, okay, I've learned this, I'm good. But circumstances change that, and so you need more tools to help you get through other situations.
Yeah, you can't just say, I love you once and everything is good. You have to keep saying it. And the marriage conference helps out a lot with that.
It does. So we urge you to go to marriage conferences if you're married. They're a very good tool. But each step of our life together has been an advancement toward adventure and also toward a mission for marriage. So really, you want to say something about that first?
Nope, go ahead.
Okay. We want to share 4 steps that we've kind of walked through and how the Lord has guided us with a mission for marriages. So I will just say that the first step was being part of the city ministry team for 12 years, organizing it, promoting it, the involvement of that, right?
And one of the cool things, and as we talk to couples now, there's a lot of hopelessness. And I'm not sure, maybe it's always been that way, but I've been seeing more and more of it. And so one of the things, going to these conferences, you see people turning their lives around.
Yeah.
So it's not a hopeless thing.
Right.
There are tools, and that's why we have the foundation being the Bible.
Tell the story about the woman in the motorcycle.
Yes, it was amazing to me. But this lady came, and she's providing a testimony after the conference, right? Mm-hmm. So she came to the conference on her motorcycle. They had to, she said, drag her in. I'm sure that wasn't really.
She didn't want to be there.
She didn't want to be there. And what her plan was is like, okay, I'm going to go to this conference with you guys. I think friends of hers encouraged them to go. Mm-hmm. And so she was going to finish it, get on her motorcycle, and find a truck and drive headlong into the truck on her motorcycle, essentially ending her life. I don't know why she chose that way.
I wouldn't do it that way.
But so the conference was Friday night, Saturday, and Sunday. By the end of that time, she had her marriage was restored, which was just amazing to me that somebody could go from that hopeless into a hope-filled marriage. And
now they're speakers.
And they're speakers at that
which
conference.
Is so awesome. I love that.
But and when we keep seeing this, so there are tools out there. Yeah. And I guess that's another reason why we are doing this.
That's right.
Provide these tools.
Right. Another step, the next step that the Lord had us going into is that we started facilitating studies of marriage, family, raising children, etc. We were doing it out of our home and sometimes at our church. But in doing this, it drew us closer together, right?
Yes, well, yeah, and that's the whole purpose of the marriage conference. And part of our vision is walking it out.
Right.
Actually, we had wasn't our thing called Walking It Out?
Oh, our little snippets on social media?
Yeah.
We would do little 2-minute snippets on social media. We're walking it out, and we'd be in the middle of the woods.
Yeah, somewhere.
On a trail somewhere.
Somewhere, yes.
Whatever adventure we were on.
And, going back to what I was saying a little bit earlier, there's no owner's manual for marriages and even with kids.
Yeah.
I mean, I discovered that big time with kids. We got married. I could take apart my vehicle. I mean, I could take apart the entire vehicle. I had enough tools for that car to take it all apart. And I had no idea what to do with this girl here. How am I supposed to treat her? What am I supposed to do? Why does she does the things the way she does? And so we needed to provide something to help people through these initial stages. And it should be like a class in high school. I mean, nobody would want it, and maybe nobody would want to take it, but...
I don't know. Anyway, so our passion began to grow to coach couples and improve the health of the family and, for that development. And that really led into, another thing is that we wanted to be examples for other people to follow, because many people don't have examples. Maybe they're in a single family, single parent home, which is more often than not now. Maybe the dad is like not even around, or a parent is not even around. There's no examples.
Yeah.
But we will say we had such an advantage in that both our parents were married over 60 years, which is phenomenal. We're grateful for that heritage. But anyway, that led to the third step, and that was where we developed a program called Marriage Basics. And it is a Bible-based curriculum of the basics for marriage.
Can I show them the cup?
Sure.
I don't know if you can actually even see this. And some of this is audio, but I'm showing you our logo for Walk as One Ministries.
Yeah.
Or no, not Walk as One.
It's
Marriage Basics.
Marriage Basics.
Marriage Basics.
This is Walk as One.
Yeah.
Okay. Anyway, Marriage Basics started with, I approached one of our pastors because I had a heart for dating couples and wanted to provide a good foundation for couples as they're seeking a mate. And what should that look like? Well, he had a different view, and he wanted us to help him with engaged couples because he didn't feel like he was doing enough to help them prepare for marriage. So we talked, and as a result, we developed Marriage Basics.
So this was kind of the owner's manual.
Right.
So when we say somebody needs to do this.
Careful, you get the assignment.
Yep, exactly.
But it's okay. But now we've been teaching it since 2009, and we've had hundreds of couples through it. And we've also had, it started out with an engaged couple, but now it's coming into, there's more married couples coming into our class, or couples that they're not engaged, but they're just wondering, what are we doing?
People married 30 years.
One couple was married 50 years, and they were like, oh my gosh, we wish we had this. So it's exciting, and it never goes old.
And that was an adventure for us.
It was an adventure.
I think we do pretty good now, but when we first started, and as we go through these things, you'll see that we are so different. It's just amazing. But her style of even presenting material is different than mine.
Yeah.
And so it was a little challenging to start off, but again, as we come together for that third option or the blending,
right. But we're walking as one.
We're walking as one.
Amen.
Yes, and so that was quite an adventure just starting that.
Yeah. So what would happen is people would take the class, and then they're like, okay, we took the class, what's next? And I'm like, I don't have anything next. Just practice what we've taught you. But it was never enough. They wanted more.
Yeah, and which is good. And so, and that was weighing, I think that was weighing on you more than it was weighing on me.
Yeah.
So I'm not sure why this worked out this way, but the Lord, at one point in my quiet time, he says, you need to learn how to walk as one with your wife. And I'm like, what does that mean? I have no idea. So I had to study. What is this? And then, so one day I told her about it. A friend of ours calls Carol a little pony motor. Right? So if you got something big that needs to start, you talk to her and she will just get that thing going. And so it was almost like I said it to her, sitting around having coffee and, hey, the Lord told me this is walk as one. She's walk as one. She's gone.
Right? Oh, it struck a chord. It was like the answer to something I'd been praying about for years, because I really felt like what's next, I wasn't sure what that was, but I always wanted to do a conference. So as soon as he said walk as one, it was like, that's it. Right there. That's it. And so I got busy and started working on developing conferences.
Yep. And for me, I don't want to be up in front of people talking, and it's like we're doing conferences in front of people.
You say that, but you do so well.
Yes,
He does well.
I'm very intimidated, though.
No, but you do well. So anyway, then that spurred on to developing a company, really, and it's called Walk as One. That's where the title came from the Lord having you challenged to walk as one. And so now we're a 501c3 ministry. But that's the fourth step, is now we've got the ministry, and what do we do within that ministry?
And that was another adventure. The conferences were huge. There's a lot of things you have to learn. It's really not easy, and I don't think when we were helping family life ministries that we fully understood the complexities.
Because we weren't on that end of it. We were on the prepping part, but not the development of the curriculum and all that. But so anyway, we've done 5 full-blown marriage conferences in the region. And, we wanted to inspire couples. We want them to succeed. So that was really helpful. And each conference was different. We've had guest speakers and so forth. So that was one thing.
So are you ready to move on to the online?
Yeah.
And as I'm sitting here, I'm like, I remember doing all this, but I don't remember what triggered the online idea.
COVID.
Oh, yes.
COVID hit.
Okay.
And so having conferences was not practical because the numbers were really dwindling. But we still wanted to affect and help marriages, right?
Yep.
And so
we did something that was similar to what we're doing here. Again, it's a part of our adventure, but our nephew, who
is a videographer.
And so it looked like a movie studio.
Yeah.
In our house, there's another couple that was part of our board of directors, and Carol and I, in our house. So Carol had staged everything. We had special desks, and we had lights and cameras and
action.
And so it was pretty amazing. But we did record the entire
Marriage Basics,
7 weeks.
7 weeks of Marriage Basics.
Session.
Yeah.
And then we had to we put that online.
Yeah.
And,
so it is available now for anybody to take. You could take it in your own home, and it's Marriage Basics Online. Anyway, and that's available on walkasone.net. But the other thing that we started doing was, instead of a full-blown marriage conference after COVID kind of settled down, is we did marriage conversations. And what that is just 3 hours, Mark and I bringing up some topics, and then a room of couples, and it's an open discussion. And it gets very interesting, the questions that come up or some of the comments. But it is lively, it's helpful to everybody, and everybody gets to talk, which is really helpful.
Because not everybody has issues. Some people have dealt with things successfully, and so they're able to provide suggestions or even just contribute a lot.
Yeah, and share what helps them. Everybody's different, so what helps us might be different for somebody else, right?
And it seemed like that was less challenging than the conferences, maybe less work.
It was a lot less work.
Yeah, because we were doing more of a conversation, but so that was another little piece of adventure that we
even did it in El Paso and had my son-in-law interpret for us because it was in Spanish.
I forgot about that. That one I did not do good with.
It was good. You did well. But they were interacting, which was amazing. Here you've got people from another, language, and they were interacting.
And their church does not interact.
It's a very different format.
You don't talk to the people presenting.
Yeah.
So we had to overcome that, and I had to overcome the translator part because normally we're interactive, kind of like what we are here, and with the translator, you have to say something and then stop.
Yeah.
And then I was constantly losing my train of thought. So that was quite a challenge.
But that was okay. Another thing that we've started doing is marriage coaching. Well, I couldn't say we started. We've been coaching for a long time, but now it's more official. That, couples that need help, they can go online, request some time with us, and then we schedule it for them, with them. And really, they get the best of all worlds because they get two for the price of one.
Yes.
So we both go, unless it's requested for just a one-on-one, but usually it's 2-on-2, which has been very, very good.
So all this just because we thought there was a need out there for some of this.
Yeah. And then finally, Adventures Walking as One podcast.
Yes.
Woohoo! That's what we're doing right now. So, that's quite a fourth step. I am. I think it's fun. So, you want to talk about our mission?
Our mission, yeah. Well, all this is really our mission,
It really is, yeah.
And we had to establish the mission. If you go look in Habakkuk 2:2, it says, "Write my answer plainly on tablets so that a runner can carry the correct message to others." Yeah. So in order to keep us on focus, and any companies do this, but we have to stay focused on what we're supposed to be doing. Yeah. And so we wrote our vision, which is, our mission is to provide information that encourages and builds up couples to help their marriage be a success, leaving a positive legacy for generations to come.
Yeah.
And for sure, we're going to talk about leaving a legacy, because really what we're doing in our marriages and that next generation that's coming is going to carry what you're teaching them into the future. And that is going to be one of the keys for supporting our society.
Yeah. So we're leaving a legacy. We're all going to leave a legacy.
Yes.
It's just what kind of legacy do you want to leave, right? But we've been saying yes to God's direction to restore families one at a time for many, many years. And we have to keep saying yes, right?
We hope you have enjoyed this episode of Adventures in Walking as One and the steps we've taken to walk as one.
Yeah. So, do you have a purpose in your relationship? What do you do together to make a difference? We'd like to know. So let us know in your comments if you have a place to comment. We'd love to hear from you. And how has this podcast helped you? Has it helped you? And in what way? Maybe it motivated you to look at your marriage, your relationship in a different view toward a purpose.
So coming up next, what 10 words would you use to describe your marriage?
Ooh, 10 words?
10.
10 words or less?
10, yeah, it could be 10 words.
10 words.
10
We're
words.
going to go with 10
words. 10 words. All right.
Okay, we're going to describe a great marriage. Thank you for listening, and we look forward to seeing you at our next adventure.
Thank you for listening to a WBRW TV produced podcast in Washington Township, Michigan. Our podcast can be found on Spotify, and our video programming can be watched on WBRWTV.com or on our broadcast channels in Washington, Bruce, and Romeo on Comcast and AT&T. If you're interested in using our podcast space or have any ideas of your own for a podcast, reach out to us now at WBRWpodcast@gmail.com. For more information on our organization, our content, or how you can get involved, visit WBRWTV.com. The opinions, findings, conclusions, or recommendations expressed in this program do not necessarily reflect the views of the Charter Township of Washington, Michigan Community Media, or WBRW-TV.